Anthropic's newest foundation model represents a definitive break from the standard chat interface. This is a system built to execute long-horizon autonomy. In early testing, it ingested a 50 million-line Ruby codebase and autonomously performed a massive migration in a single day, a task that would normally take a dedicated human team over 2 months to complete by hand. In the life sciences, it operated almost entirely without human intervention for over a week, mapping single-cell genomics data across 138 different animal species. This requires a different operational framework, known as agentic execution. The model operates as a senior research scientist. Over the course of processing millions of tokens, the system actively picks its own research directions, allocates necessary resources, and identifies and kills its own incorrect beliefs. Crossing the capability threshold into this tier of intelligence, what Anthropic categorizes as their Mythos-class, forces a recalculation of what a synthetic system can be trusted to handle independently. This level of reasoning introduces a substantial threat vector for global infrastructure. Security researchers track uplift when AI lowers the entry barrier for malicious actors. In cybersecurity, it identifies vulnerabilities, performing autonomous reconnaissance and executing lateral movement. In biology, the reasoning used to develop therapeutics can also accelerate dangerous viral engineering. This creates a deployment paradox. Releasing state-of-the-art models safely seems incompatible with their dual-use potential. Anthropic addressed this by taking the exact same neural network and releasing it under 2 entirely distinct deployment architectures. Managing risk at this scale requires permanent architectural routing rather than simply degrading the core model for everyone. The deployment of this generation begins with a single foundational base model bifurcating into 2 distinct paths. The first path is Mythos 5. This is the raw, unrestricted pipeline, tightly gated behind strict institutional access protocols, like the U.S. government collaboration, Project Glasswing. Mythos 5 possesses intense biological reasoning capabilities, allowing it to accurately predict the complex experimental properties of viral shells. This chart shows how Mythos 5 performed on predicting the shell assembly of an adeno-associated virus, or AAV. Despite having 0 explicit training for this specific task, it outperformed specialized protein language models. Outperforming specialized models using generalized biological reasoning is exactly why this specific pipeline must remain restricted. To preserve the ability to make novel scientific discoveries while preventing dual-use proliferation, maximum capability models have to remain institutionally quarantined. That leaves the second path, the public-facing architecture, released under the name Fable 5. To make the Fable pipeline safe for general use, Anthropic built a classifier gateway that sits strictly between the public user and the underlying Mythos-class weights. These classifiers are entirely separate AI systems, running simultaneous inference to monitor every primary user query. They actively scan for 3 specific threat vectors: offensive cybersecurity, dangerous biology and chemistry, and model distillation attempts from foreign adversaries. Traditionally, when an AI safety filter flags a query, the industry standard is a hard refusal, a blocked session, and a canned response. Because classifiers inevitably trigger false positives, this hard refusal approach causes friction, breaking developer workflows for benign tasks. The Fable 5 architecture abandons the hard refusal paradigm entirely. It neutralizes frontier-level threats without punishing the end user. Fable uses a soft fallback mechanic. When a classifier triggers, the system automatically diverts the query away from Fable 5. That flagged query is instantly routed to Anthropic's next most capable model, Claude Opus 4.8, which safely processes the request and hands the response back to the user. Anthropic tuned these safety nets conservatively, but this fallback mechanic occurs in less than 5% of standard public sessions. This chart illustrates the effectiveness of that routing. In a 400-turn internal evaluation tracking offensive cybersecurity progress, older models climb steadily upwards. Fable 5 flatlines at 0, completely shutting down automated red teaming tasks. When tested against 30 different public jailbreak techniques, Fable 5 complied with 0 harmful single-turn cyber exploit requests. Capability downgrading via classifier routing solves the refusal problem. It trades extreme frontier intelligence for verified safe intelligence exactly when triggered. When operating outside of those flag topics, Fable 5 processes complex digital environments through unstructured visual inputs without needing underlying code. Previous generations of AI models required complex developer harnesses and middleware to translate external state data into text so the model could understand its environment. Fable 5 bypasses that. It successfully played Pokémon Fire Red from start to finish, relying strictly on raw screen pixels, with zero external navigation aids. It pairs this unharnessed vision with persistent, file-based memory. Over millions of tokens, the model actively takes and references its own notes. In complex, state-based tasks like playing the game Slay the Spire, integrating this persistent memory yielded a threefold improvement in autonomous performance compared to Opus 4.8. True autonomy requires an AI that can ingest, remember, and reason through raw, unstructured visual reality without relying on a translation layer. To safeguard these levels of autonomy, Anthropic implemented a final security layer, a mandatory 30-day data retention policy for all traffic on Mythos-class models. This retention is implemented for security auditing. It allows engineers to detect multi-request jailbreak attacks that unfold over time. The data is deleted after 30 days and prohibited from being used to train future models. The launch of Fable and Mythos ends the use of the universal foundation model. State-of-the-art intelligence is no longer delivered as a single uniform product. Agentic capability creates risks that preclude generic, unprotected deployment. To wield frontier AI safely, the industry must adopt a permanent architectural bifurcation, separating shielded consumer interfaces from the raw engines underneath.